In this video, I'm going to share with you a powerful and simple way you can know that your desire will manifest. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tom, and I make videos that help you empower your higher self and manifest your dream life. If you'd like to win 60 minutes of one-on-one coaching with me, comment below "it is done." Winners are announced every week. So the simple way to know your desire is going to manifest is by doing what's called a frequency test. This is something that I've coined myself. And we go, what is that desire? Whether that's manifesting a specific person or a loving relationship, a certain career, a certain job. Perhaps it's a more material desire like a house or a car or anything that lights you up inside. That's your desire. And when you have that desire, you basically ask, what would I have to believe is true? That if this were true, if these sentences and facts were true, I would know that my desire would be realized. And so you come up with a short handful of these statements. Pick the most potent and powerful of them, such as, I am so happy and grateful now that I am earning X, or now that I am with so-and-so, and this is happening. Very simple affirmations that capture that dream reality of yours. And when you have them, you're basically ready to actually do the test. So you have these affirmations, and what you can do is record them on your phone, or you can say them as affirmations while looking at yourself in the mirror. And you do it every day for at least a couple of days in a row, preferably a week to 2 weeks. And you say these affirmations every day, or you listen to them every day. If you are, for the majority of the time, when you're involving yourself in your consciousness with these statements, and you can feel them with mostly a flowing, abundant mindset and good feeling and a lack of any resistant negative thoughts or anything like that, then you're knowing that they are impressing into your subconscious and that they are a dominant, active, vibratory frequency within your entire consciousness. And therefore, that is what will be made manifest on the screen of space in your life for real. So let's back up for a second. How does this even work? Why is that some kind of test to know that our desire will manifest? Well, let's realize that reality exists on two levels. The unmanifested form, which is also known as the quantum field, the realm of infinite imagination, or the source consciousness. Some people call it God. It's this unmanifested form or realm of pure potential. And we are in communication with this realm all the time when we exist on the manifested plane, which is our physical universe. And so that's us right here. We're in the physical universe, flowing one present moment at a time through life. It's what these squares represent: one present moment, another present moment, another, creating the illusory effect of linear time. And in our present moment, we are always in a certain frequency of consciousness. And our frequency is the sum total of our thoughts and imaginal acts on a habitual basis, the feelings we consistently feel, and also the actions and habitual behaviors that we perform. And I've also added in another element recently, which I've contemplated on and worked out that this is also part of our frequency, is our beingness or our awareness. And this is basically our capacity to tune into our true self as the source creators of our own reality, and also our ability to be present and aware, not only in a present moment situation, kind of like an Eckhart Tolle being very present, but also our ability to see our thoughts and see how our own ego mind works. That's another capacity. And this beingness capacity, actually, when you tap into it and build this up in itself, even though it's not really a thought, a feeling, or an action per se, it actually holds a certain frequency that's very high. This is why you hear, as I mentioned, people like Eckhart Tolle talking about when you live in pure beingness for the majority of time, you experience love without an opposite. Because we're starting to tap into the facets and nature of this unmanifested realm from which we arise from in our own consciousness right now. So we have those two realms, and we have our frequency, which is basically the sum total of us as human being forms from all the planes of our existence and beyond to the unmanifested plane. And we are always in a frequency of consciousness, and therefore we are always in some kind of connection or communication with the unmanifested realm. And so we're in connection with this field of potential, and based on our frequency we admit to it within ourselves and our own consciousness is what we receive from it. It sort of bounces back from this unmanifested realm into a manifested realm in a future present moment. So for example, if we beam out the frequency of being that we are abundant and wealthy, good things happen to us, we have our dream relationships, our dream career, etc., we create that dominant frequency in all layers of our being, we send that up for enough time to this unmanifested realm, well, eventually it is created at some point in a present moment in our future. We can look around and observe it has become a physical fact of our existence. But interestingly, you'll notice that these heads have a line through them. And this implies the two halves of our mind, one being a conscious mind, the other being the subconscious. And so when we perform this test, what we're doing is we're selecting a certain thought energy to emit to the field. And in admitting it to that field, it first has to go into all layers of our being, conscious and subconscious, to create that frequency and state of being. And then from that place, it will interact with the field. But the thing is, if we're not able to sit with these thoughts that are creating the state of being and feel them to be true without friction or with very minimum friction, then something in us, some part, especially in the subconscious part of us, that are blocking these thoughts from flowing all the way through us and becoming real truths. So this is where we say, I am abundant, but a part of us still believes I'm not abundant and perhaps I am not worthy of money, or money is difficult to make, or I am destined for failure. So by doing this test, we are basically testing our ability to absorb in this information and see whether it can create a seamless frequency to match the quality of these thoughts within us, and therefore to know that if dominantly the case is yes, we are destined to manifest it, because the unmanifested realm will collapse that. That's what the law of attraction or manifestation is about. And the absolute mechanism of how this works, or the law of how this works, is what I cover in many videos on my channel. But suffice to say, if we are in that dominant state of frequency in our consciousness on all these layers, in the conscious mind and the subconscious, then we have essentially become that person in the present moment. And therefore, physical reality will warp itself around to harmonize with that truth within us. So that's the fact of the law of attraction process, and something you can test. So when it's a positive sign, it means that we can emotionally become involved with these thoughts about our desire, and they feel like facts, and therefore they flow in our consciousness seamlessly, and we experience knowing emotions, faith, joy, positive expectation, contentment, satisfaction and fulfillment, etc. And that's what we experience consistently when we associate ourselves with these thoughts, and therefore we've become that person. So it's effortless for us, and physical reality will manifest our desire. That's the sign. But if for all, or at least a dominant period of the time, we experience resistance to these thought forms coming in around our desire, then we will feel lack emotions like fear, doubt, anxiety, confusion, resistance. Generally, we will be in a state of friction in our frequency. And if we are feeling this, then it means that there's an old self that still exists and is an active part of who we are in the frequency of our consciousness. And that lack emotion is really basically trying to create reality of its kind. It's trying to perpetuate negative results, because that's its aim. That's simply what it is at its level of frequency. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just, it is what it is. So for example, a lack frequency may be, as I said before, all those negative beliefs about ourselves, about money, about love and relationships, and about our ability to execute and expand in our career and our purpose. And those beliefs may still be in some part of you, and therefore they'll be creating those results in the physical manifested realm. So if you experience the lack emotions, basically there's a sign that there's more inner work to be done. Healing, awareness, and purification, which happens when you follow the subconscious mind reprogramming process. See my video on how to reprogram the subconscious mind for more insights on how to do this and how this works. But here are the key points. We're talking about themes here. So if you come up with these sentences and you do this test, and for 90 or 80% of the time you feel pretty good, you feel like, yes, I believe these are true, these are flowing in, well then that's good enough, because we're not talking about perfection. We're not talking about 100% faith, 100% flow and knowing. We're talking about a theme, a dominant trajectory. So a trait may be overall you're an abundant person, overall you are aligned with the frequency that aligns with your dream reality. But then you might be in a mood on a certain day that maybe is bad. Maybe it's a bit lack-based, and that's okay. And this is why you hear people that impress their subconscious minds with imagination, with new thoughts, and then they still kind of experience an array of emotions because they're human beings, and it still manifests because overall there is a dominant trajectory in where they're headed and what they believe about themselves on all levels of their being that form up their overall frequency. So basically the idea is that you don't need to be perfect, and if you are experiencing any negative emotion, well actually that's a very hopeful and good sign. Not only is it a good sign that you're a human being who experiences emotion, and that's fantastic, it's the contrast of life, of being in this dualistic reality. But furthermore, it means that you're illuminating within yourself those very aspects of yourself that are still resisting or contrary and contradicting your desire, and now you can gain awareness over them, heal them, release them, and eventually transcend and empower new beliefs within yourself. So all in all, that is the test. You basically are testing whether you are able to absorb in those beliefs as if they were facts about your dream reality. And if you can, then it's a sign that you're really bought in on all layers of your being, and that your frequency of consciousness is in fact in a harmonizing relationship with your dream reality. And if that's so, then you can sit back and be sure that it is going to manifest, and extremely soon for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, please subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more videos on manifesting your dream life.